What is going on, guys? Corrosive Bullet here, and today we're going to talk about my upgraded deck list for Trunks. I've been really digging Trunks. It got a lot of help this set, I think. Blue, in general, got a lot of help this set. So I kind of wanted to just showcase what my changes were to my Trunks deck. If you guys have any ideas or want to discuss like what you guys are doing with Trunks, or if you guys see something that maybe doesn't really quite fit to your playstyle, maybe you guys have a better or a different way of playing Trunks, let me know down below in the comments. But we're just gonna kind of go over it. So, I mean, obviously Trunks' whole gimmick on his Awakened side, he's able to bounce a 3-cost or less back. He's a pretty decent option now. He's probably one of the better blue decks in the game, in my opinion. It's up in the air whether Vegeta and Zamasu are still better. I think you can make an argument for either or being better than Trunks, but I mean, this guy is all about control and just keeping your opponent's board clear while you kind of build yourself up and slowly pick off damage where possible. So a couple changes that I made here. I decided to go more into the control aspect of things. So I removed Pan entirely. I don't think Trunks needs to facilitate milling hand and feeding from the deck to find the cards that you need. I think this deck, the way I have it built, is consistent enough where you don't necessarily need to discard and redraw to find the cards you need, and it's more so control. So I kind of removed the 2 Pans that I used to run, and I removed 2 of the Mai's. Going more in the, I mean, this Zamasu is a really good turn 1 option. I could maybe make the argument of playing more of this Zamasu and more of this Goten to be a bit more on curve and be more energy efficient with this deck, to kind of facilitate you know, what he wants to do in terms of control. I think Mai has lost a lot of relevancy with this set. It's not like set 1 where you want to awaken Trunks as fast as possible against some of the decks or some of the people that you fought in the ranked meta. Specifically, set 1 green was really oppressive, and blue didn't really have many options in terms of taking on green. So the playstyle with Trunks early on in set 1 was to awaken as fast as possible to inflict as much damage onto Broly as you could, before he was able to get his big pieces on the board. Now we're not really seeing green in the meta as much, and blue wants to play a bit more defensively than it used to. So having a full play set of Mai just kind of feels really bad, because you don't want to really self-awaken with her as often as you do. I have her here as an option just on the off. It's charge fodder. It's a 5k combo, so she's not like really dead in hand. On the off chance that I'm playing like Top Coup, I want to potentially awaken fast so I can bounce stuff back to hand or bottom deck more consistently, especially after Top Coup awakens. So having her here as an option in case I need to self-awaken early isn't the worst thing, but I wanted to kind of lean more into the control aspect of here. We're still running Harumakis, we're still running the peel-off engine, that's not changed. And this Trunks is still a really strong turn 2 powerhouse. If I'm playing later in the game, once Trunks is actually awakened, being able to play this guy for 30k for 2 energy, swing, and bounce back with the leader Trunks is still a really, really solid combo. So that's why I still keep the Trunks at a pretty high, as a 3 of. I just don't run 4 of because it's not something that I want to see. It's not something that I want to see often, but it's like all the time. But it's something that, like, in the late game, I need some powerhouses to kind of do some damage to whoever I'm playing against. And then the Trunks is still here because obviously self-awakening. He's 25k power for 2 energy. He's pretty strong in that front. And we're still running the Gotenks engine. Gotenks is still just a strong option. Being able to pull the Goten and the Trunks from hand. They're 10k combo power, so it still feels good to kind of run them still and it's yeah, it's again just a decent option still. Gotenks is still viable in the current meta. Like I said, you could maybe make the argument of playing more of these guys to keep more of the control aspect, but I mean, this has been pretty consistent for me, I think, for the most part. And we're still running this guy because obviously he's able to bounce 5 costs and back, but with some of the additions, we are actually throwing in the 3-cost Vegitos to kind of facilitate the control aspect. Being able to play this guy on turn 3, even turn 2, depending on what's played before you, if you're going second, this guy being able to lower the cost of all your opponent's battle cards by 1 facilitates the control aspect really well for Trunks. And I mean, obviously he's got a little bit of control aspect too, because he bounces 2 costs or less with his ability. So obviously, like, running this Trunks allows him to bounce stuff that's 6 costs or 6 or less. This makes Goten be able to bounce stuff 3 or less, 2 or less with the Zamasu. Again, it's just, like, this card, I think, is just a must-run in Trunks to facilitate the control aspect, and a full playset, I think, is worthwhile. Then we have the Secret Rare as well. The one thing that Trunks struggled with in set 1 was that you didn't really have much in the way of mid-game and late-game power. You didn't really have a means to be able to really go after your opponent outside of the leader and the double striker, excuse me. So the Secret Rare is actually really good for this deck. He's 5k combo. He's the only Secret Rare at a 5k combo, which means he doesn't hurt to have in hand. Being able to attack twice at 7 or less, which is what a lot of blue decks want to do, is a pretty easy thing to do, especially with the amount of combo power that you're cycling out of your discard, and with Pilaf and just like basically doing blue things that blue wants to do. And then obviously this guy also bounces 5 or less, which if you're able to keep this Vegito on board, it's 6 or less, which goes after a lot of stuff in the game. Like that's basically every card in yellow. That's every card in red. That's most cards in green. Like just this guy kind of facilitates the new way to play Trunks, and this guy just kind of complements that a little bit more. Being able to swing twice at 30,000 is also really good. It makes him a stronger option than this Trunks is, at the cost of having less combo power. So I think this guy's a really good card for Trunks as well. We're still running double strikes because we want to have an option in terms of ending the game. If we're able to get our opponent down to 2. I only run 2 though, because we don't want to run too many 0-cost stuff in this deck without detrimenting our combo value. So again, just only running 2 of this Vegeta. He's still viable, he's still good. And with the 3-cost Vegito, he can bounce stuff at 5 costs or less, which is most things, and it combats red exceedingly well, because there's nothing higher than a 5-cost in red at the moment. So Vegeta's still good in this current meta, and we just as an option. We run one Goku Black, for obviously because we want to be able to cycle out cards from our discard, whether that be the Gotenks for the extra combo power if we need it, if we wanted to pull Gallic Gun. If we want to be able to pull Gallic Gun for a little bit of extra defense and draw power, this guy just facilitates us being able to pull stuff that we need to kind of stay on the defensive if possible. We're not really playing the Gotenks outright in most cases. We're probably relying on Goku Black to do that for us. And even then, we're only running 1 because he's not the game killer that we want to be able to play, that we have other stuff in the deck that's going to help us end the game. This guy's more so to facilitate defensive stancing, to be able to protect us when we need to, while also applying a little bit of pressure to kind of give our opponent something to focus on board, as opposed to going after our leader when necessary. And then for the last of our battle cards, we're throwing in a full play set of Zeno. Obviously, we're not playing this guy. Obviously, we're not playing this guy early on in the match. At the earliest, we're maybe playing this guy turn 5. If we're playing defensive. But, I mean, this guy is a board wipe. And he's 20k power, so he can swing into most leaders without any, without any negative backlash. He's 10k combo, so he facilitates a lot of combo power in the deck. Even if we're not playing him early on, we could still use him for combo. And then he's a board wipe. He's the only board wipe card on the field. So we do every possible swing we can with the cards that we do have on board. And then if we need to clear our opponent's board and we've already done everything we could on our end, we just play this guy to just reset the board from scratch. And swing with him if we need to, or keep him, or not even swing with him and just he's extra combo if we need to. So Zeno's a really good card. Really helps to facilitate blue in a lot of ways. No reason to not run him in a full playset. We're still only running 2 Final Hope Slash because Heal-Off's able to bring this back, no problem. I keep 2 because maybe early on we don't necessarily need this and we want to use it for charging power. But we try to at least keep 1 so that way we're able to cycle it back to hand and play it when we need to. Full Gallic Guns. Sinister Sickles. We still only run 2 Sinister Sickles just because it's still green. You still see a lot of green despite red being the dominant color in the meta right now. But in most cases, we're actually using this on turn 3 especially with Topku. Like, this card is amazingly good at against Topku, especially if they're able to awaken early. So we run 2, and we see this consistently enough where we don't necessarily need to run more than this. And then on the off chance that we do go up against green, having Absolute Lightning here as an option as well goes a long way. Being able to bottom deck a Broly or a Cell kind of helps us in some regard. But most times we're using this to charge, but it's an option against green. So that's my current Trunks deck. A couple changes here and there. It's kind of doing the same thing that it did in set 1, but it's doing it better. A lot more control, a lot more aggression that we can play in the later game that allows us to maybe play a little bit more aggressive while keeping ourselves alive. I think there's more 10k options in this than there was before, because obviously the Mai's not a detriment to us. We're still running a lot of the same stuff that we're running, and as opposed to set 1, like, we don't have as many zero cost stuff. So like, we're always going to have combo in most cases. And on the off chance that, any of the zero cost stuff is kind of a detriment in the early hands, we just use it to charge. Because there's other stuff here that we can play to play aggressive if we need to. So but that's the deck profile. Let me know what you guys think below. Set 2 did a lot to kind of boost up decks like Trunks, and I find Trunks a lot more enjoyable now than I did in set 1. So we'll see what happens going into set 3, and especially with the ban list coming up, maybe Trunks will be a lot better when if Topku gets hit. So, but we'll see what happens here. So let me know what you guys think down below. Like and subscribe for more Fusion World content. I'll see you guys all in the next Fusion World video. Peace.